Welcome to Toffee TV. These are my player ratings for Everton 2, Bournemouth 0. A big 3 points for Everton today. Took them back into the top 10 of the Premier League within a couple of points of 7th. It just shows you how close it is in there. And if we could only have picked up a win against Leicester City, we'd be 7th at the moment, and people probably wouldn't be panicking as much as we have been. But there you have it. I think it's more to do with how we've been playing more than anything else. And in this game, certainly for the first half an hour, we were very, very poor, very much off the pace. Bournemouth, a team who've been struggling themselves in the last couple of months, had chances, hit the post, didn't quite capitalise on it, and then we started to get a grip of the game, and in the second half, took just enough control to go and win the game. We had more possession, but I think they had about 14 shots, 7 on target. I think we had 3 on target and scored with 2 of them. So it's all about getting the goals, isn't it?
This video is sponsored by OneFootball. OneFootball's app makes it easy to keep up to date with transfer news, scores and stats all in the one place. To download the OneFootball app, click the link in the description. The app is free.
Jordan Pickford, I've given a 7. I thought he was fine today, apart from one dodgy kick in the first half. He made one really good save second half when he slid out for the ball. Made a couple of decent punches as well to get the ball away. Okay, look, all right, not massively commanding. Looked a little bit shaky at times. Still looks like he's not at his best. But I've given him a 7 because I just thought his all-round performance was okay. Seamus Coleman back in the side. I thought, again, it was one of them, not a great start from him in the game. But I've given him a 6 because I just thought he did okay as the game went on. Yeah, he gave away a couple of silly corners, but for the most part was okay. Not brilliant, but just okay. Look, I still think that he's going to have to, I think I heard something about Kevin Kilban saying that he has to change the way he plays, and I think that's spot on. There was one little thing I noticed in the second half where he got the ball and he tried to take the lad on and then stopped and had to go back, and it was that idea of having to beat him and then realising that the lad had the legs on him, and then because he had to turn, was almost put himself in trouble. And I think that's something Seamus Coleman is going to have to learn. I still think there's something in there of a player, of course there is, but he's going to have to change the way he plays, because otherwise he's going to make mistakes because he's not the player he used to be. He can't bomb on. His body doesn't allow him to do that. So he's going to have to change the way he plays and ask for the person in front to do a lot more work. But he still did get in the box. But what he did was he chose his moments. There was a couple of times he tried to play little 1-2s with Lookman. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. That's where he can still do the job, I think. But just getting the ball at right back and thinking he can bomb past everyone, I think those days have gone for him. So he's just going to have to change the way he plays. Michael Keane, I've give a 7.5. He made one mistake that almost led to a Bournemouth goal, but really that was the only mistake he made in the game. He was pretty commanding, and towards the end of the game made an absolutely amazing last-ditch tackle to stop them from getting a shot on target. And I thought he was dominant all day, really, really good in the air, good off set pieces. And as I say, just shake those little mistakes out the game. And, we've got a good commanding centre-back. Still not as vocal for me, still not as commanding in terms of, telling people what he wants from him. Hopefully those things will come. I don't know if they will or not, but I'm hoping those things they'll come. That'll bring a little bit more self-confidence in him, because I still think he lacks that. So I've given him 7.5. Kurt Zouma, I've given 7.5 as well. Obviously scored the goal that changed the game. Stayed up from a corner, and it was a great little flick, into the back of the net, and he's done his job there. Pretty commanding at the back as well. Again, first half was a little bit dodgy, some passing wise, and but I think in the end, him and Michael Keane have done the job and seen us through towards the end. That led us to go up the pitch and get the second goal, because they had to deal with a lot of set pieces late on, because we were giving away so many stupid fouls due to our incompetence at times, but also the referee being absolutely shite. There you go. Luca Dean, I have given 8. I thought he was brilliant today. Cross for the first goal was excellent as well. Always offering himself wide, always trying to put good balls into the box with quality as well. He's just a really top class player, isn't he? And again, showed that for that cross. There was nothing, he doesn't really have the right to dig that out and put in such a good ball, but he does. It's so inviting for Zuma. But what it is inviting for as well is the goalkeeper. It asks the question of the goalkeeper, should I come for this? And the goalkeeper thinks he should, goes to try and get it. And I think when people question Jordan Pickford whether he should come off his line, this is what I think goalkeeper coaches are telling their players. Don't come off your line, because the quality of the crosses are so good, and the ball isn't the ball, the way it moves now, that they're telling the goalkeepers to stay on the line because of incidents like that. So Luca Dean, I've give 8. Garnagay, I've give a 6.5. Did his job okay. Still lacking in possession. There was one late on and it just wound everyone up in the crowd. Last minute of the game, he gets the ball on the left, and all you're asking him to do is just knock it ahead of, I think it was Lookman. And all you're saying then is, it's a race between you and the defender, and the defender's just going to knock it out of play, isn't he? Let's be honest, or just smash it. If he smashes it, the chances are, it'll just land to one of our players anyway. And he just plays a terrible 5-yard pass, and they're the things that wind people up about Garner. But defensively, excellent. Kept his head today where other people were losing theirs, or certainly asking the referee to lose his. So I've given him a 6.5. Gylfi Sigurdsson, I've given a 6. I thought he was abysmal in the first half. Everything he tried just didn't come off. Second half, I thought he was a lot better. It seemed to me there was a concerted effort in the second half to go longer at times and ask for Charlison to just get in the centre-backs' faces, knowing that he wouldn't win it, but just stopping their defenders from getting a clean header, which is, I think, what was happening in the first half. Gylfi pushed up and started winning those second balls, and we started to win possession and play higher up the pitch. I thought that allowed us to get out and get rid of all that nervousness, because I think we struggle to get the ball from defence to forward. But when we go longer at times, it's easier because we're winning the ball in the final third. It might be as pretty, but it's more effective. And I think in a game like that today, with the wind and the rain and just needing to get a result, it's all about being effective. It's not about pretty football. It's about being effective, and that's what we were second half. And that's what we found in other games where we've won this season. We've been effective, and it's got us the points. I think far too many times we just overplay in our defence, and then we can never get it. Then what happens is our centre midfielders drop deep, and we can't find a pass to get us from the midfield to the forward. So by being a little bit more direct second half, with Charlison working a bit harder, I thought Gylfi Sigurdsson come into the game a lot more. And so I've given him a 6. Gomez, I've given a 6 as well. Again, pretty poor first half. Just didn't seem to be up to the pace of the game. But I thought second half, he got booked. He was very fine margins of whether he should have really stayed on the pitch, whether he should have been sent off or whether he should have been subbed. But he is a physical presence in there, and he's still a very good player. But I think today he just at times just got caught. I think the whole team suffered early on from just not enough aggression. I think the second half we added that aggression because we had to, because it was becoming one of those games where we had to add something. And with the conditions, it didn't really matter about playing great football. It had to be about getting stuck in, and we did. I've given him a 6. Bernard, I've given him a 7. I thought he played really well today. At times when he was in the game, drifts out of the games at times. But what he did and what Adam and Lookman did both really well, I thought today, was they come into central areas and started picking the ball up and asking questions of their defence. Because when we got it wide, they had a really, really good shape about them. And because we don't have much of a presence in the box, when we did sling it in, was it Cook? I think Cook was just dealing with it all day. So they started coming into the middle looking for it. So I've given him a 7. And with Adam Lookman doing exactly the same thing as well. I think we started to pick the ball up in better areas and had that little bit of dynamism that Sigurdsson, I think, playing in that role doesn't quite offer. And that's why I'd like to see Sigurdsson play a little bit deeper so he can pick the ball. I think what Bernard, when they're playing in that number 10, and Lookman do is They're quick. They've got quick feet. They ask questions of those defenders. They put them on the back foot. They receive it, turn and move, and the defenders don't know what to do. I thought Lookman was excellent doing that today. I've given him an 8. He's actually my man of the match. I know him and Dean have got the same, but I've given Lookman my man of the match. I thought he was excellent. I thought he was asked questions, especially when he came central. When he's out wide, yeah, he gets the ball and he sort of gets stuck in the central position. They don't know what to do with him. I thought he was excellent. He helps. Well, he set up the second goal. Not only did he provide the cross at Dominic Calvert-Lewin, but he wins out. I think he won the ball back as well. They get the ball and he wins it back. And the ball breaks to him again. It's a lovely pass to Dominic Calvert-Lewin. He finished brilliantly. But I really liked how industrious he was today. But when he was central, I just thought that's the future for Ademola Lookman, playing through the middle of the park, asking questions. They had Brooks, who I thought first half was brilliant for them, but he was playing between the lines. Like I'd like to see Ademola Lookman playing. In fact, Brooks really reminded me of like a Tim Cahill kind of player today. No one knew what to do. No one knew what to pick him up. And I think if Lookman played in that position, no one would have a clue who to pick him up. The centre-back would be terrified of him. And then the centre midfielder would have to drop really deep if they were going to pick him up. I think that's the ideal position for him. Maybe we don't think he's got enough experience yet. I don't know. But that's where I want to see him play. I thought he was really good today at times. He drifts out the game, yeah, of course he does. But for me, I'd leave him in there now for the rest of the season. Because I honestly think that if anything is going to come from this season, listen, are we going to finish 7th? It's a flick of a coin at the moment. We're in there with other sides who are inconsistent. We're not going to finish 6th. Man United will just beat Tottenham at Wembley, and they might finish higher than 6th now, but we're not going to finish 6th. That gap's too big. So why not leave Lookman in for the rest of the season and say, you know what, make that spot your own. You fought all season to get into this team, and now we're going to give you a chance to cement that. So he was my man of the match today, and it was a brilliant setup for the goal. He just was so patient in possession to set Dominic Calvert-Lewin up. It was a good finish from Dominic Calvert-Lewin. And Richarlison, I've given him a 6. I thought he was abysmal first half, but I thought second half, when he started to put himself about a little bit, got under the skin a little bit of their centre-back, he didn't like it. Sigurdsson started coming in. Aki's touch was like, every time he touched the ball, it rolled 5 yards. So I thought Richarlison for second half worked really, really hard. Had one cleared off the line early on. I just thought, if you're going to be a centre forward in the Premier League, that's the kind of performance you've got to put in. You can't just stroll around and hit the deck every time someone touches you, especially with the referee today. Second half, he didn't. He put himself about and he just got on with it. And he got booked for his troubles. But that's centre forward should get booked if they're going to go in on centre back. So I've given him a 6. His second half performance was probably a 7.5, but he was abysmal first half. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, come on, scored. I've given him a 7. Scored the goal. Excellent finish. Want to see that more from the kid. He said in an interview this week that he doesn't want to be seen as a young player anymore. He's a senior player now in the squad. He's been around enough. And I thought he finished that goal tremendously. Just used the pace on the ball and put it back. Lovely. That's what you want. That's what you want. You've got to be doing that all the time. Hitting the target. Took his goal well. Theo Walcott, I've just, 6. Come on and kick someone. Didn't think it was a foul, but I've given him a 6. And Mina, the old weird sub, wasn't on really long enough. Yeah, NA. There you go. They have been my player ratings for Everton 2, Bournemouth 0. Let me know in the comments whether you agree. Do you disagree? Have I give someone too high a score? Have I give someone too low a score? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching. Make sure to check out all our other videos from today's game. I'll see you later.